Welcome to Office Hours. I am Steve Drost. With me, as always, Will Kaplan. Of course, Will and I are both from the Quivr team. And what is Quivr? We are the CRM built by financial advisors for financial advisors. And at Quivr, our objective is simple. How can we help you run your business at peak efficiency? And each episode, we tackle a couple of items that came directly from our users who are trying to do just that, make their lives a little bit simpler. Will, I have a confession to make. Today's topic is not from a user, but it's from our own minds, which is scary at times. But the root of our conversation that led to today's topic is because of a user question. Will, I want you to let's let you dive into that.
Yeah, so we got this really great question from a user about like, hey, I'm in the middle of this particular process right now, and I feel like I'm struggling with it. Is there a way to get Quiver to do it? And you and I started having a conversation. That actually came from office hours. That was an office hour event. But then as we started thinking about it and talking about it, it occurred to us that like this particular process is important. So the process we're talking about is onboarding new employees at your firm. But related to that, there's another process that is offboarding employees from your firm that sometimes is like the steps can be even more important because we're talking about things like revoking access to maybe turn their email off or turn off their access to client information or, turn off some logins that they might have to the custodian or to other places where, if you've got really important tasks, you don't want them to slip through the cracks. I've got to get a laptop back from that person. All of those little things that need to get done, you need a checklist to make sure you do them every time. And sometimes they're different. Offboarding a CSA may be different than offboarding an advisor or, offboarding someone from an HR department where they have access to not only maybe some client information, but they've got access to employee information. Like you want to make sure that you're following a structured process each time, not letting things slip through the cracks. And I don't know about you, Steve, but I can't think of a better system to be able to do stuff like that than Quiver. And so cram all that in there, right? Like get that into Archer, get a workflow running, get a couple workflows running to make sure you're crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's as you offboard employees. And sometimes offboarding is great. I can't wait to be rid of this person. Sometimes offboarding is really challenging. I'm really going to miss them and they were phenomenal. And I'm excited for them because they're off to better things. But like, what a great way to sort of make sure that you're covering all of the things that you need to do for that process.
Yeah, and I look at offboarding, it's kind of parallel to offboarding a client, right? Not only do you have a long list of things you need to do that are very important, but it's also a highly scrutinized topic by regulators. And also it's something you hopefully don't do very often. And when you have something that's highly scrutinized by regulators and you don't do it very often, that screams to me that it's either going to take you forever or you're going to forget how you do it, right? I could not tell you right now, off the top of my head, I could not tell you how to get my mom. If my mom quit today, I couldn't tell you how to get her out of Black Diamond. I couldn't tell you how to get her out of 1Password. I don't know how to remove her from Quivr. I'd have to ask Ashley, which I'm sure most of our listeners would do the same thing. I'd have to go to the community. So why would I want to spend a day Googling or starting a case with Black Diamond where I can just, the first time I offboard a client, build that workflow in tandem while I'm doing it, and then just document everything. Black Diamond, this is what I do. I click this URL, I do this, I do this, I do this. Here's how I hit deactivate. Perfect. Now, instead of starting a case and messaging Black Diamond, hey, how do I remove my user? They're no longer an employee. And then waiting a day to get back. And now I'm juggling all of these things. I just click a link. I know how to do it. Boom, boom, boom. We're done in 2 minutes, hopefully. So the idea is if you're doing these things infrequently, and there's also a lot of maybe unspecific or not super linear way of completing it, document all of that stuff and just let your future self copy you.
Yeah, task steps is your best friend here. Having all of this information in your learning management system is really going to ensure that you're following the same process every time. You're right. It is something that hopefully we're not doing very often. I mean, as a solo, you may only do it every, not even like the ADV. It may be something you only ever do a couple times in
I mean, I've
in your
never
entire
offboarded an
career.
employee. Never.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you're
don't
in
know
a
how to do
lucky
it.
state. Mom hasn't quit and you haven't fired her yet, right? So like, um, this is one of those things where you don't do it very often. And so it's really easy to make mistakes. But if you make a list of all the different things, not only do you have that guide, but then by breaking each of those things into its own step from a compliance standpoint, did you turn off Black Diamond? Yes. Did you turn off Right Capital? Yes. Did you turn off email? Yes. This was completed on this date. You've got that sort of paper trail from a compliance standpoint of like, are you following the correct procedures when you offload employees? That's really important because now we're talking about, unsupervised people who have access to client information. That's a great way to get yourself in trouble. And from a compliance standpoint, like that's a big one.
It's a super, super high risk. But yeah, I agree. You already have that list. You already know what you need to do. It's somewhere. My compliance consultant probably has it. Just document all the little steps. You can offboard somebody in a morning rather than over the course of a week, right? But no, that I like this one. This one is good. It's taking existing Quiver functionality that most of our users can handle pretty dang simply. And it's applying it to maybe outside of the box items or those things that used to not traditionally fit inside of your CRM. And with Quiver, we want everything done inside of Quiver. But that's a wrap. Good stuff today, as always. If you are a Quiver user, I hope today's isn't very important for you. I hope you don't have a lot of turnover. But if you do, just remember you can build all of that stuff inside of your system. And also get to office hours on Wednesdays where we talk about these things all the time, things that might not be as traditional inside of a CRM for financial advisory practice. If you're not a Quiver user, that's okay. Remember, nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. But don't worry, it's not too late. Schedule a demo. Come hang out with me. Come hang out with Will and see what Quiver can do for yourself.